welcome back. Are you as nervous as I am? I doubt it, because I'm starting the wing. I'm actually nervous. One of the first things I did was to just go up and grab the spar. And I thought, I'll just grab whatever on top, and that's when I'm gonna start. And it was the left one. Well, when I started looking at this, it's the right one. And I would have to start reversing everything in my mind on the first one. So guess what? That spar went back upstairs. So we're gonna do the right side instead of the left. And I just gotta start separating all these and marking on them their numbers. And I was surprised, the serial number. There's a serial number for the spar, the main spar. So I wrote that. If ever needed it, I wrote it here again and up at the top where the tank lid would come off and you could still see it, and it'll be documented. So here we go. I gotta start separating all these goodies. I just happened to grab the very first spar. Well, there's a shorter one, full-size spar, and it's C75W1-2K. And I looked, and this one, the flange goes in. And this one gets to be labeled and go back upstairs. For how long? 2 minutes. Hey, Jan's home. I don't know if this is 100% necessary, but before I upsize all these holes in the ribs, I can go down them with a straight edge like this. Some are closer than others, but if I just take a few minutes and guess where I saw a tool like this made, except I tapered it here and rounded this so that it sits down inside so you can pull it this way easier. But a little piece of block of wood, you can make these 90 degrees really easy, because a lot of them aren't 90 degrees. You can just eyeball it down and see that it's not 90 degrees. A little bit goes a long ways. So that's what I'm going to be doing for a while. I'm going to do all these. That was a 4.8. That's beautiful. Nice. 4.8. Yesterday I drilled that out for the end rib, the nose rib, and I shortened this and took this off because it overlapped underneath this quite a ways. And so got that done. And I got these all drilled up to size. Those already were up to size. And now I decided to just jump into this. I'm trying to get the machine marks out of this and found out that when you put this on, there's about 40 thousandths gap in there. So that's another thing I talked to Roger about, and he said just to shim it. So I'm making, we don't want to pull it down that far because it'll stress those tabs. So I'm making this. This is 42 thousandths right now, and I've got to sand both until I get it just right. In the book, it tells you to put a joggle in this so that it'll fit underneath that angle bracket. But I've noticed that it's nice to radius these two edges too, because the angle bracket is radiused. It's thick, you know. It's so. And I noticed it was touching, so this is what I did. I radiused those there. I radiused those also. Put your joggle in and those, and it clears really well. Just put this here and tap down lightly. Excuse me. Whenever I was taught to form aluminum, when we had to work on like the Ford truck, if you're repairing a dent, you don't really hit it. You just tap it very lightly, and a lot of times, and all of a sudden it moves. And it doesn't like to be hit back the other direction. Once you move aluminum, kind of leave it alone. Have a plan and work it really slow. These are easy. Also re-torqued those bolts, loosened them up, checked the drag tension on them, and re-torqued them and marked them. Not so much that you can see it, but just so I know they're done. And re-torqued these, but I haven't. Oh yeah, I did mark them. See, that's why you mark them. So you'll know you're done. Okay, I decided I'm going to show you one part from beginning to end, how I denib and the time it takes. And it probably is not going to be the best video in the world for you, but this will give you an idea of what one takes. So this hasn't been touched yet, but I will simulate what happened on several of them. Let's find my file. Here it is. On several of them, they had quite a big nib right here. So filed the nib off. Make sure they're all level on the edges. No big machining marks. Then I put my mask on so you can't hear me. And I take my sanding block. And these are pretty good. But I go over these to get the top flat and any bump kind of down. It's not a lot of anything, it's just 400. But if these look nice, let's move on. Now I was sanding the insides of these, but I found with the long extension, the little bit of an angle is acceptable. I don't know if you can see that, but boy, that is better than denibbing. It looks so flat now. Those are beautiful. And that little weirdness on the edge, gone. And I Scotch-Brite the whole thing, prep it for paint. Probably play some music. Hang in there. Remember, you gotta do this to every part. This will give you an idea if you ever want to do this kind of thing. I find it kind of rewarding when you're done. I suppose if you're not going to prime yours, you don't have to do this. But you can find little burrs by doing this too. Alright, and then I put the long extension on. I'm surprised at how good these felt by just reaching in and running your finger on them, but when you sand them, you can see there's quite a flared edge. I wouldn't call it a burr as much as it's a low flared edge. I should put a timer on this. Since this is my last one, it's probably my quickest. At first you think this tool is just hard to use, but after a while it becomes an extension of you. You get to learn how fast it slides down and stops. All those are done. Now I do this. It's gonna get noisy. Just warning you. And that's it. One part done. Of course, those have to be cleaned and then primed. But I'll do minimal cutting. That's the time it took to do one part. Well, this happened, so I might as well show it. Remember where I said I cut this and trimmed that so that it wouldn't go behind that? Well, I never noticed that this goes here. So that end's gonna have to be all trimmed. And this bolt's on, so we'll have to take that back off and figure out exactly how far and stuff we're going to trim it. It's not too bad of a job, you just got to do it. Make sure you try not to drill through. Also, a little cleanup probably would be helpful. It's interesting, in the book they don't say anything about this, but they do show in the picture that it's disappeared, it's gone. I'll show you that. It goes from this step, showing it on, and there on, and it doesn't say anything about it, just tells you to drill that out and cleco that up, but right here it shows it gone. So, got to pay attention to the pictures more. All right, this is what I ran into. I remember I took this off so that it would clear this stuff. But the problem is, these holes don't line up. And you could cleco one or the other, and it still isn't in the right spot. So I talked to Roger, and he's working on the fix, but right now I'm dead in the water. He's going to send me out this top piece. Is supposed to be 25 millimeters. It's the old one, which is 20 millimeters. So apparently they're trying to match the distance of this flange for this area here. So we're gonna get, it looks like we're gonna get a new one of these, and for the other side, because I measured out the spar. Well, we got this far along, but I measured out the holes here on our spar upstairs. That's stowed away in the upstairs of the house, and those holes unfortunately are the same. So these spar pieces are for this cruiser, but this is a little bit earlier model spar. So those holes need to be different, but the distance of those being just a millimeter difference or so isn't going to make any difference in the plane. So we're going to get a new one of these with everything in it but the holes, and this with everything but these 2 holes. And then we're going to match drill it to this spar, is what it looks like the fix is going to be. So that's it for today. This was first video of the wing, and that's it. We're going to get the rest of it in the next video. Well, thanks for watching. This is what happens when you get in the game, but that's okay. I think we got a good fix coming. I'll let you know in the next video what happened. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming along. See you in the next one.